G'day, how you doing? Adam here from Poseidon Racing with a brand new game reveal. Now, as with any of these brand new game reveals, I'm a little bit tentative to give you this information because it's so early and because there's so much dodginess and so much risk, I suppose, out there. Like, these games absolutely could fail at any time. And number two, they could just have the rug pulled right out from underneath our feet. And what I mean by that is there has been several examples of games where we have a concept revealed and then us early adopters, we buy into that concept and buy those early stage NFTs. And then the developers sort of say, well, we could develop a game, or we've got this $3 million here. We could just run away, pull the rug right out from under the project, take all the money, nick off to some tropical island and drink cocktails on the beach. Okay, so that could happen. It's not outside the realms of possibility with this particular project as well. We hope it doesn't happen, but you need to be aware. And on the upside, of course, to balance that out, you could have a project that absolutely goes to the moon and you sort of get 10x or 20x your investment on the NFTs that you buy. And then we have all the different variables all the way in between, from absolute failure to absolute moonshot. This game could exist anywhere on that scale. So just be aware, this is not financial advice. Don't take what I say as advice. Do your own research. And if you enjoy the game and you think, wow, that would be fun, I want to play that game myself, well, maybe there'll be a few other people that are on the same sort of train or rocket, and we might head to the moon. We don't know. What game am I talking about? I'm talking about Chicken Derby or Derby, racing chickens. And you're probably thinking, I get it. You're probably thinking, Adam, racing chickens. What are you on? What drugs are you taking? That sounds absolutely ridiculous. And I thought the same thing. Initially, I thought, racing chickens, how silly. But when I started looking into it, it started growing on me and I thought, wow, this looks like a real little niche, fun game that I would like to play. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. Let's jump over here. Okay, so I'll leave all the relevant information in the description below. Things like the link to the website. We've got a game tutorial or game details here, and also the Discord as well. Now, originally, when I heard of this concept, I sort of brushed it off and thought, this is a silly little game of racing chickens. It's not going to have any sort of depth to it, and it's not going to take off. You know, it's sort of a rip-off of Zed. Instead, they're using chickens. But when I started looking into it, I really liked what they were doing. They've sort of taken, from what I can see, they've taken inspiration from some of the most successful NFT games and movements to date. Okay, from what I can see, and you could argue with this, but Axie Infinity, Zed Run are two of the most successful games. And then you have the whole profile picture phenomenon. Okay, so CryptoPunks, Bored Apes, and whatever else has been following out, Craniums, and a whole bunch of others, okay? There's heaps of them, heaps and heaps and heaps of them. The profile picture phenomenon. Well, Chicken Derby, let me jump over to OpenSea here. From what I can tell, has taken inspiration from all three of these different games and movements and combined them into one, and that's what I find really interesting. I said a long, long time ago that I thought Zed kind of missed the boat a little bit with the Rarity. They could have added different aspects. And look, Zed's Rarity is probably within the horse traits itself, but they're kind of blind, so we don't see them. But a little bit more visual variance for Rarity might have been a nice thing for Zed Run. And Chicken Derby, has seemed to have done that. If we have a look at here on OpenSea, you can see they have, and you probably think, well, Zed Run is too classy for this stuff. But yeah, okay, you might be right. But I do like what they're doing here. You've got the, the rarity of some of these pirate patches or different colors, alien eyes. We've also got stripy ones. There's a stripy one. Nose rings. Okay, it's a bit sort of, what's the word? Not cliche. It's a bit sort of gimmicky, I suppose, in a sense. But I kind of like that. It's kind of fun. And the fact that it's fun and silly is one of the things that's really drawing me in. And if we look at that, we got stripies, you know, we got these eyes, or actually they're the alien eyes, they're the lizard eyes, in fact. But then you also have different aspects as well. You've got talents. You're thinking, talents? What are talents? Hold the phone. Talents are like weapons that you can deploy within the race. So now we've got something really, really cool here. And I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but we'll tie it all back together. We got something really interesting here where you've got, so chicken poult, or chicken a poult, rollerblades. You know, your chicken will strap on rollerblades halfway through the race and go zooming off. I don't know what cobber is. I could figure that out. Growth, the chicken gets bigger and goes faster. CK-47 is a gun and it starts taking pot shots at other chickens. I can't remember what blue rooster is. Anvil, I'm not exactly sure either. Teleport takes you from one point to the next. All of these different things which can really mix up how the races run and how your chicken fares. You know, it might not be the fastest chicken, but if it's got a really great talent and wipes out all the other chickens, then it might make its way to the end of the race in first place. So that's pretty cool. I like that aspect. So it's racing, but it's not all about speed. There might be some sort of tactical aspect or just some sort of pure luck aspect as to when your chicken pulls out its special talent and how often it uses that special talent. Okay, now we've had the first drop. All right, there's another drop coming soon. Of the 33,333, I think they've sold about 20,000 in the first drop. There's about 13,000 left. Now, they didn't originally plan on selling 20,000. I think they originally planned on selling about 13,000. But the drop, for whatever reason, was listed live 10 minutes before the scheduled time. And guess what? It was completely sold out before the scheduled time. It sold out in about 3 or 4 minutes, that 13,000. So what they did instead was they listed another 7 or 8,000 at the proper time so that the people that missed out had another chance. And they sold out within about 10, 12, 15 minutes, I think. So they managed to sell out 20,000 in about 15 minutes or so. But that leaves, there is still 13,000 left. Or of course you can buy them on OpenSea. What is the floor if we sort via low to high? 0.038. Okay, so at the last drop they were 0.033 and then the second installment was 0.035. I have a hunch that the next drop, now I don't know, is going to be 0.05 would be my guess. If I had to take a pot shot, that would be my guess. But whereas the floor of 0.038 is kind of the ones that people, the chickens that are not appreciated. So they might have lesser talents, they're not as rare. Okay, we'll go through that in a moment as we go through the different things. But when you buy at the next drop, I believe it's a random drop. So you have, you know, a chance of getting some crazy super rare chicken, and you also have a chance of getting, you know, one of the lesser liked chickens as well. Now, when you're on this website, you can click on Game Tutorial and you come to this page and we'll have a little bit of a read through that and see if we can get a little bit of a grasp of the game. I got sidetracked before, didn't I? I was talking about all the aspects of these different popular games that they seem to have brought into one project. So you have the rarity traits of something like a profile picture, like CryptoPunks or Bored Apes or Craniums or any of the other copycats that have followed. You have that. But then you have the functionality and the racing of something like Z-Run. That's cool. Love that too. And if I had to guess, it looks like they're taking the breeding more so from something like Axie Infinity. Or maybe it's a combination of that and Z-Run. I don't know whether we'll have breeding limits like Axie Infinity or breeding unlimited like Z-Run. We don't know those dynamics just yet. But as we run through this, I'll point to the aspects where I think have been inspired by different games. We already can see the profile picture aspect when we come here, as I said already, by the different colors, the different eyes, the different headdress, the different beaks, we've got the, what have we got? Oh, if we go back to recently listed, we'll get a better look at these. As I said, we've got the pirate eye patches. The different colours represent the different heritages. Again, we'll talk about that in a moment. Stick with me. But yeah, those different aspects. So we've got the rarity value from, something like a profile picture, but then we have the fundamentals, or the, the game aspect, similar to Z-Run with the racing. We get the added fun of having the traits, the weapons and traits. That's really, really cool. And then we've got the breeding as well, which could look a little bit like either a combination of Z and Axie, or maybe more like Axie. So we go through this. There's a little bit of education. What is an NFT? What is a chicken? What is a chicken? What is an NFT chicken? Combine them together. Okay, cool. All right, so go through that. We won't spend too much time there. Here we have heritage. So heritage relates to colour. Does it relate to racing talent? Maybe it does. We can't sort of say 100% it does or 100% it doesn't, because in Z-Run we know that if you go through the colour descriptions in Z-Run, they're very descriptive, and they suggest that particular colours have particular traits. And I love that, but Z has told us that that doesn't exist, and I wish it did. So I'm hoping that Chicken Run learn from that, or Chicken Run. Could have been called Chicken Run, but they might have run into copyright issues. Chicken Derby, Derby. Hopefully learn from that, and maybe these descriptions mean something. So you can see, and I'm hopeless at reading names and pronunciation, so we're going to go with Sarama, sure. A new breed from Malaysia that was designed for racing. They are fast, nimble, and hard to hit. Is that a suggestion that they might, survive some more of these trait attacks better than other chickens? Who knows? There are few around, so they are the rarest. But if you can grab one, you have yourself a strong racer. All right, they are the most expensive. They are the rarest. If we come down here, let's have a look at that. If we go to heritage, open that up, you can see there is only currently, of the 20,000 dropped roughly, there's only 1,158 of those. And they are more expensive. If we click on that and go to low to high, the cheapest Shrama, it's 0.3, 0.29 roughly, 0.3-ish, okay? So they are a little bit more expensive. Are they better racers? Well, based on this description, it suggests that they are, but there's more to that. There's more to that equation. And what you need to do if you're going to invest is, number one, you need to be attracted to the game and think that it's a good concept, in my opinion, not financial advice. Number two is you need to develop your own vision of all of these clues in this information as to what might be more important. Is the Shrama going to be more important than these other breed types, or are the weapons and traits more important, or there's something called perfection, which I'm really interested in myself. Then as we come down, you can read about Sultan. They were bred for their plumage, and I do like the purple colour. I think it is the most attractive colour myself. These are purples and blues, I like them. Unique muscle structure, making them endurance racers. Okay, so are these chickens going to be actually better at the longer races? Well, maybe, but if we pan back to Z-Run, all of the colour descriptions ended up meaning nothing. So take that with a grain of salt. Leichenvelder. Sounds German, are they? Yeah, Dutch Germanic descent. Thick thighs, tenacious attitude, and wild nature. Now again, if you read about some of the Z-Runs, they do suggest, that same wild nature too. I think it might even be the green horses as well. Okay, the Leichenvelder are the green ones. Then we have the Dorking, a breed from Britain, roots back to the Roman Empire, sturdy, steadfast, common breed, does well on its home turf. So is it going to do well in the English, Britain, UK races? Again, we don't really know. Now, originally, there was a lot of people, including myself, maybe thinking that Shramas were the Z1s if we relate back to, or maybe the Z1s and 2s if we relate back to Z-Run, more like the Nakamotos, and Sultans were the Zabos, and the Lakenvelders were the Finnies maybe, and the Dorkings were the Buterans. Are they? Maybe. I'm not so sure. I think they could be. Or they could be more rarity colour groups. And the racing, because the Nakamoto racing attributes come more so from the Z number, not so from the colours. Okay, so these look to be colour groups. For example, if we come back here again, these are all the Shramas. Have a look at that. Looks to be a colour group, doesn't it? Okay, but does that colour group also hold race talent? Look, to be honest, I don't know. That's the vision that you need to sort of come up with yourself. If we click on Sultans, you can see blues and purples. Okay, so it's a colour group, and they're rarer. The Shramas are rarer than the Sultans, and then the Lakenvelders are the green ones. Okay, and then the Dorkings are the whites and the yellows, and the creams. All right, let's move along. That is the heritage, all right? And then, as we move on down, we have perfection. Each chicken has a perfection score from 1% to 100%. A 100% perfect chicken is a top performer of the highest caliber. Interesting. Normally a 100% chicken, and if you read this side by side with the Z-Run white paper, you might see these similarities. Normally a 100% chicken will beat a 99% perfect chicken every time. But given the right circumstances, the 99% perfect chicken can win, as no chicken is truly perfect. Now, if we read that side by side with Z-Run, they say a very similar statement when they're comparing Z1s to Z10s, or Z1s to any other lower number. They suggest that Z1s are the best racers on average, but Z10s can beat a Z1 in the right circumstances with the right horse. All right? So that is very interesting. Now, if we're trying to find the greatest chickens or the most valuable chickens within the bunch, what are we wanting? Well, you know, in the ideal world, 100% perfect Shrama might be the go, but there's currently only 33 of those. If we come back here, I think there's only 33. If we come back here to OpenSea, select Heritage Sarama, Perfection, crank that up to 100, and you look at the prices here. All right, low to high, the cheapest one is 6 Ethereum. Very, very expensive. So they're rated very, very highly, the 100%. And that, well, in fact, I thought there was 33. There's only 20 currently. Would I spend 6 ETH right now? No, not yet. With there still to be one public drop, I'd rather, if I was going to spend 6 ETH on one chicken, you've got to weigh that up. I can take that 6 ETH to the next public drop and buy as many chickens as I possibly can before they sell out. How many do I think I can get? 20 or 30 maybe. I won't be able to spend my 6 ETH, I highly doubt it. Maybe I won't even be able to get 20 or 30. Maybe I'll be lucky to get 5. Maybe I'll be lucky to get 1. We don't know. All right, but at this stage I think spending 6 ETH on one chicken might be a bit excessive, but as soon as all the public drops are sold out, maybe 6 will look like a bargain. Maybe there'll be 10 or 20. We don't know. There's very few of these to ever exist. Given that there is currently 20 of 20,000, I believe there's only going to be roughly about 33 of 33,000 of the 100 Shramas ever. All right, so interesting. It doesn't mention this, but will the 100% Shramas be better than the 100% Dorkings? We don't know. It suggests here that the 100%ers are on average the best. And it's not even racing why I like the 100%ers. It's not even racing why I like the 100%ers, because when you look at the breeding of Axie Infinity and they talk about 100% purity, it's not so prevalent in Z-Run, but Now, I don't know a lot about the axis breeding, to be honest, but I feel like when you breed maybe 200% chickens together, that you might get a high likelihood of something close to 100% in the offspring. Okay, it suggests that as we breed, we can breed down to 1%. Okay, all the original Genesis chickens, if you like, the ones released from Chicken Derby, are 90% or higher. So the Genesis chickens are between 90% and 100%. Now there's not a lot of 100%ers and there's a lot more 90%ers. But that kind of suggests that maybe when you breed two 90% chickens together, you might get a 80%, 70%. You know, you're going to get a drop. And you probably get a bigger drop when you breed two 90s. So let's say two 90s are 10 away from 100. So they might drop by that much down in the offspring. So the two 90s might generate two 90s and then minus the average, I don't know, they might produce an 80 or a 70 or something like that, percent perfection. Or there might be a variable in there as well. We don't really know. We don't know nothing. But when you breed two hundreds together, might there be a chance of producing another 100? Well, maybe not. But there may be a chance that those 200s produce a 99 or a 98. Okay, and those 99s or 98s are likely to be significantly more valuable when sold on the open market, not financial advice, as opposed to breeding two 90s together and producing a 80 or a 70. That's where I'm really interested. The hundreds, if that percentage perfection is a breeding tell, you know, they're going to be producing those 99s, 98s from the 100s moving forward potentially. Are they? Are they not? We don't know. I'm kind of banking on it, but we shall see. And then stock. A chicken stock is a rough guide to how far removed they are from the original chicken. Okay, so the original ones that are being sold at the moment are called spicy. The original, that's the Genesis breed of chicken Derby. They're called spicy. So all the ones are called spicy at the moment. If we come here to stock, you'll see there's only one currently because breeding hasn't started. So there's 20,100 spicy chickens. Now again, in Z-Run, as you breed down, every time you breed, that level of spice or that Genesis or that breed type tends to drop. Now you can hold them at certain levels, and I assume that potentially you will be able to hold certain stock levels or spice levels on the chickens as well. How you do that, we don't know. Okay, and it says here that the Spicy's original purebred chicken and potentially a top performer, bland, many generations removed from its ancestors, and it doesn't tell us whether or not that, you know, is likely to be a top performer or not. We don't really know. But why I personally am interested in the hundreds is, yes, the racing aspect is great. They're not guaranteed to be great races, but they should be on average better than the lower chickens. But why I am super interested in the 100s is because of the breeding aspect. It looks to me like breeding two 100s together might produce a high perfection chicken or have at least a higher chance of producing a high perfection chicken. Whereas breeding two 90s together, I would guess, only a guess, that you're going to be producing lower perfection chickens, maybe 80s or 70s or something like that. It may not be as cut and dry as the Z-Run, where you've got two Z1s, you just add the numbers together and you get a Z2. It might not be as pure as that. You might get a range. Like two 90s might have a chance of producing a 99, but it might be only one in every sort of 100 or 200. Okay? And the majority are probably likely to be, you know, deflationary, if you like, so moving down that scale. Is deflationary the right word? Maybe not. Chicken talent, we went through that. That is the weapons. Might start flying to overtake others or launch a deadly blue egg to take out the leading opponent. Okay, that's awesome. Each track, there's 7 terrain types: dirt, grass, road, rock, sand, snow. Okay, and each chicken has a terrain preference and will perform better in those races. That's cool. Consistency. Sometimes your chicken isn't quite feeling it. Other times they are raring to go and exceed your expectations. Awesome. So read through all of this. Gender, there's males and females. Performance, different variables. Okay, so it says here again that the race performance will be based on different variables, including heritage, stock, perfection, consistency, and terrain performance. That's really cool. So it looks like heritage is going to be important. It is, in fact, listed number 1. So that could be something as well. So you've got heritage, then stock. So stock is how far removed from the original Genesis chicken or the original spicy chicken. Perfection is your 100% perfection. Consistency we don't have a gauge for yet, or terrain preference either. We don't have a gauge for that yet. I assume we need to discover those. Some chickens are naturally better than others. Sorry about the noise out there if you can hear it. Okay, so only 6% Shramas or Saramas. Sultan 16%, Lakenvelder 33%, and almost half are Dorkings. All right, as we move through. It's going to be a bit of a long video, this one, is it? You might want to watch it in 2 sections. Each race consists of 8 chickens. My phone goes off. Following race distances: 100 metres, 120, 140, 160, 180, 2,000. Okay, cool. Only short races. I suppose they are chickens at the end of the day. Different terrain types. Pecking order. This is the class type. And again, if you read Z-Run classes, this is very similar and actually points towards the fact that perfection might be a hint at Z number, because the pecking order directly relates to perfection. Okay, so all 100% perfection chickens have 59% or 59 pecking order points. They all start on that. Okay, so if you read perfection, or look at, if you come back here, for example, and you look at perfection versus pecking order, this one is a 100. Well, they're all 100s, aren't I? Because I did that. Can you see pecking order? No, not yet. You can only see pecking order when you log into the into this particular site. I can't remember how to do that right now, but ask on the Discord and you'll be able to see pecking order. But the pecking order relates directly to the perfection score. All right. Don't think it says that there. Race fee. Have a read of that. Prize pool. There you go. 55.80. There's no rake currently. That's nice. Okay, that adds up to 100%. So the entire prize pool is being given back to the first, second, third places. That's very cool. I don't know if that will stay that way, but it's good for now. Bit of rarity on the colours. Talents. Blue Rooster, feeling tired and low. Drink a can of Blue Rooster energy drink to make you feel alert and alive for 6 seconds. So you're going to be... These are fun. These are fun. And it adds a different aspects of different tactics and whatnot. Okay, so if you like the idea of Z-Run, but racing silly little chickens that have guns and weapons and anvils and rocket bums and all these different things. I mean, there's some horses in Z-Run that look like they've got rocket bums as well, but we don't know about it. But at least here we know they've got it. You've got, what do you got? There's lots. Look how common the talents: Anvil, Blue Rooster, Chicken Poult, CK47, Cobber, Flight, Growth, Machete, Rollerblades, Teleport, Blue Egg, Dig, Fan Group, Helicopter, Jetpack, Cold Snap, Devolution, Moving Walkway, Black Hole, and Royal Procession. Is that Procession? Yeah. We don't know how they'll all come together, but I'm kind of interested, and the Discord numbers are increasing, which is a good sign. The drops sold out in a heartbeat. That's also a good sign for me. Where will it go? I don't know. Could it be an absolute flop? Yes. Could it go to the moon? Yes. Could it be somewhere in between? Of course. As I said, not financial advice. If you're interested and think it could be a little bit of fun and you think it might be popular and you're doing it for an investment, then obviously do your own research. If you're just doing it for a bit of fun, then maybe grabbing a chicken or two to race them and have a bit of fun within this community might be a cool thing as well. Do I think it's a threat to Zrun? Maybe. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I think they can both survive. I think they exist in separate worlds, to be honest. I think Zrun is a little bit more sophisticated and stylized and aimed at that sophisticated horse racing market, whereas Chicken Run is essentially the same style game, but aimed at just being fun and silly and having a really good time. I think they exist in different worlds and will attract different investors and different corporate funds to a degree as well. All right, that's it. I keep calling it Chicken Run. It is Chicken Derby, however you say that. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.